We are live. What is going on, YouTube? Giants family, Giants nation, stand up. How you guys doing, man? Um, we're gonna have a conversation today, right? We're gonna talk about the breaking news, or I guess you could say the somewhat breaking news. I think we all kind of knew, but it's been announced as of about 10 minutes ago. We're gonna talk about Daniel Jones being placed on IR. So that'll be ending his season. So we'll give our thoughts on that, what his future could potentially hold. We're also going to give our thoughts on the Dallas game, and really just going to conversate and just have some honest conversations here. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, leave a like below. You can follow us on Twitter. The link will be in the description. And so let's get this started. So this is going to be per Jordan Renan. The Giants are shutting down quarterback Daniel Jones for the remainder of the season because of his neck injury, per source. A premature end to his third professional season. There's optimism that the injury is not expected to affect Jones's long-term future. Now, we're also going to go to Art Stapleton, who put out a tweet stating that this is a statement from the Giants SVP of Medical Services, Ronnie Barnes. We all know that Ronnie Barnes is a highly regarded doctor, and really just he has the utmost respect by ownership in this organization and just worldwide. He's known worldwide, nationwide, really just for how great of a doctor he is. But our Stapleton states, at this point, Daniel has not been cleared for contact. We felt prudent decision was to place Daniel on injured reserve for the remainder of the season. With continued rest and treatment, we expect a full recovery. Now, like I said, I don't think that this is necessarily breaking news for the rest of Giants Nation. I think that we all kind of expected this. Look, neck injuries are no joke. We know that all too well with with David Wilson, man. I mean, what a talented kid. Unfortunately, had to retire early due to the fact he suffered a neck injury. We all know how important your neck is. Let's take this outside of football. We all know how important your neck is, and I think it was a very smart decision for not only Daniel Jones not to play and get killed behind this offensive line, but to really just look out for what's best for him, and the Giants doing the same as well. I'm gonna also read a little article by the New York Post. This was actually posted a little while ago, and this was actually an article by written for Matthias Kiwanuka, which we all know that that's a Giants legend, man. And he's dealt with neck injuries in his own right in his career. So we're gonna do a brief reading on it. Kiwanuka pretty much said that the Giants don't ever mess around. Ronnie Barnes doesn't mess around when it comes to your health. And it's all about the person, right? Not the player and what your quality of life is going to be like after the fact. In their mind, it's going to err on the side of caution, and I 100% understand and agree with that. I think that, and I've been saying this, since it was announced that DJ had a neck strain. The Giants are going to play it safe. They're not going to do anything to risk getting him further injured, excuse me, especially since we have nothing to play for, looking at this season, man. And I think that the Giants should do everything that they possibly can to do right by Daniel Jones for once. If I'm just being honest, we have to do something right by this kid because you don't provide him with a decent offensive coordinator, let alone a decent offensive line. I mean, granted, he's dealt with his own injuries. There's only so much that they can do. He doesn't know how to slide. There's certain things that he has to work on. But overall, we got to think about the long term health of this kid. I mean, thank goodness this isn't going to affect him long term, or even have a Peyton Manning situation where he's going to need surgery. The Giants did everything that they could to make sure that they could do right by Daniel Jones in this situation. Um, but in my honest opinion, I don't think that any of us should be shocked. Let's see what we got in Jake Fromm. I'm not expecting him to be a starter in this league, let alone for the New York Giants. I think that he'd make a competent backup quarterback in this league. I think that, if he played for a team like, let's say, the Saints, or a team like Minnesota, where they're in a dome, they don't have to deal with cold weather, then I think that that's a perfect place for Fromm to excel at. But you're talking about cold weather in New York, wind, especially during the December and January time. So a quarterback that doesn't have too much strength on his arm when he throws the ball, it's not going to really fare well in those type of conditions. But let's see what you have in Jake Fromm, and let's hope that maybe going into next year he could be on this roster as a QB2 or potentially a QB3. But before we do that, let's get some chats in. What's going on, Jaden? What's going on, D Mac? I really do appreciate that, man. And what's going on, Nate? If you want to come in and give your thoughts, any of y'all want to come in and give your thoughts, I'm gonna put the link down in the comments so you guys can jump on the stream. But you know, Daniel Jones wasn't dealt a good hand, unfortunately, right? I mean, we didn't make the best adjustments, let alone any adjustments going into this year with the offensive line. So right there, you're already doomed for failure, man. I mean, let's be real. You're already doomed for failure. How many quarterbacks could succeed behind this offensive line? Really, how many quarterbacks could succeed behind this offensive line? Because I don't think that is much. That there's many throughout this league. On top of that, we all knew that Jason Garrett wasn't the answer at offensive coordinator. Joe Judge wanted him gone last year, and we did nothing. We did nothing there. We did nothing there whatsoever in regards to making sure that we could provide this kid something stable. Now, look, I understand that he will never be an elite QB. I understand that he's not going to be a top 10 quarterback, but I think that he can be an above average quarterback if you provide him with the right pieces and an offensive line. There's nothing wrong with having a quarterback that needs everything around him to go right. Granted, I understand that we live in a time and era where you have the Justin Herberts, the Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, of the world that can go put a team on their back, the Aaron Rodgers that could go put a team on their back and not really have a lot around them, or excuse me, elevate the pieces around them and make them into a high caliber team. That's not Daniel Jones, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine because he can go in there and be an above average quarterback, but you got to provide him an offensive line, and we haven't. And unfortunately, it's costed him. Now, it's not the reason why Daniel Jones is injured. He doesn't know how to slide. That's something that we all know that he's had to work on. But let's be real here, man. I mean, even if he hadn't been injured, man, I mean, this would have, in my honest opinion, would have been a letdown of a season due to the fact that he's underperformed. But you can't fully blame that on him. I'm just being honest. You can't fully blame that on him. Receivers have been in and out of the lineup due to health. Like I said, Jason Garrett's a factor in it. The offensive line can't hold up for more than a second. I mean, what do you want this kid to do? I'm just being real. What do you want this kid to do? So for now, see what you have in the rest of your roster. Keep Matt Parrott at right tackle. Just see what you have in him. See what you have him from. Get him ready for next year in terms of Daniel Jones. What is going on, Nate Talk Sports? We got you on the show. How you feeling, man? Thanks for coming through.
Just I'm not shocked about it. It's just I'm just scared for this kid's long being, man. It's now we know it's officially a neck injury, so it's it's
Yeah.
sad to see that if he can't come back, which I'm hoping he has a good recovery and hopefully he's all right now. But I just I'm scared for this kid's long being than right now. Like now they're saying it could be more than this. So
Yeah. No, and I feel you. I mean, what we do know, and I mean, I trust Ronnie Barnes. If there's one person in this organization, I trust Ronnie Barnes. I mean, he does do right by these players. I think that with him saying that they're expecting a full recovery, they're expecting him to come back next year and be okay. That's something to put your hat on. But at the same time, I mean, I think that we really dodged a huge bullet
yeah,
in terms of what it could have been.
I agree with that. I just hope, man, we give this kid a team, man, because I'm not the biggest Daniel Jones supporter, but I know that there's a lot more problems than him right now. So
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, my thing is what I want for Daniel Jones, man, is really getting him an offensive line. And
Yes.
I think that with how this season has went, it's been it's been an eye opener, not just for us. I mean, because we all knew,
Mhm.
that we should have went offensive line this year, but that should be an eye opener, for this organization. That okay, we need to get this kid not just weapons because we addressed that this year, but in this draft we got to get this kid an offensive line because we dodged a huge bullet with what could have been in terms of his neck injury. And if we're going to make sure that DJ has a healthy career, a healthy and long career, not just for us, but for another team potentially, do right by this kid, get an offensive line, and teach this. I mean, he really has to learn how to slide. That's one of my
Yes.
biggest gripes with Daniel Jones. I love
Mhm.
the aggression. I love that he wants to play. I love that, regardless of him being injured, we saw last year he had an ankle and a hamstring injury and still went
Yes.
out there against the Cardinals. I love that Iron Man mentality. I don't think
Yes.
it's on the level of obviously Eli, but I
Yeah.
love the toughness the kid has. But
Mhm.
man, if you want to survive in this league, you gotta learn how to slide. And that's actually what I love about Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, he slides early. He slides at the perfect time.
That
So that he avoids injury, he avoids contact. So Daniel Jones got to take some notes with that. Hey, what's going
and
on, Taj? My fault, Nate. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
you
I'm
good.
like
I was just
missing
gonna
these
say
chats. My bad.
to Jaden's comment, I was just gonna say if he wanted to come back, and I listen, that's what scares me too. Judge said nah, and when he said he wants to come back, that could be scary too, because I know the kid wants to play. Like everyone knows that he's a that he wants to play every down. He knows he loves the game more than probably like any Giants besides Eli, probably any Giants quarterback we've ever had, because he wants to get on the field. The problem is he can get some serious injuries if he wants to get on the field, and he can, because the hamstring, the ankle, all that stuff. So
Yep.
if I'm Judge, you sit him out, you get him physically ready for next season. Don't give him the contact stuff yet. Like before the training camp, I would give him more contact stuff, but then when the training camp starts, you get him to more contact. Just take it slow. Don't put him in a fast situation where he thinks that he has to recover like the most fastest person of all time.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, I agree with you fully. I thought you made some good points. Um, but I mean, it's just the more I think about this, man. I mean, the more I feel sorry for this kid. I
Yes.
really do feel sorry for this kid. Um, I
Hmm.
mean, like I said, I'm not saying that he will ever be an elite quarterback. He probably never will be, and that's okay. I think
Yes.
that looking throughout the league, not many teams have an elite level quarterback, but they have an above average quarterback. They got pieces around them, and they get competent play out of that. You can succeed in this league having an average quarterback, or at least an
Hmm.
above average quarterback. I mean, I love Ryan Tannehill, but I don't think that he's in that elite category. I think that he's an above average quarterback. He's more
Yeah.
than competent. And I'm not saying that DJ could be a Ryan Tannehill. It's very much possible. But I think that if you surround this kid with an offensive line, a more than competent offensive coordinator that isn't Daniel Jones or Freddie Kitchens, you got yourself something working here, man.
That's why I said, bro. The best thing, I think the offensive coordinator. We should go Jerry Sapinski, the
I
quarterback
wouldn't
coach.
be shocked. I mean, he's already here, so I wouldn't be
I,
shocked. I mean, hey,
he fits the system that Judge wants to run. It's just now I look at that, it's him or Russ Callaway, for my opinion. If they're gonna go in house, they'll go Callaway or Jerry Sapinski.
yeah, no, I'm there with you. What's up, Taj? What's up, man?
What's up, Dodge?
I don't know if you can hear us, but hey, we got you in the stream, Taj. Jay, I am giving out mods. I just don't know how to do it. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know how to do it. So if you can show me, I got you, man. Hey, that's what's up, man. Facts, man.
Prayers to
You gotta
DJ,
support the
man.
kid.
Prayers to DJ.
Hey yo, facts, man. Prayers up. For real. I mean, let's be real. I mean, I really do think that, and I'm gonna keep hammering this down, man. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but you go get yourself a Linderbaum, you go get yourself a Neil even, or
Give us a
you
Charles
double up with
Cross,
the
man.
offensive line. Yeah,
Give us a Charles Cross. I'll take Charles Cross right now. on the.
Yeah, because
I'm
most
big
of
into
these
Charles
players,
Cross, bro. Charles Cross is one of my favorite tackles in this draft class. So if you get him too, I'll take anyone right now.
exactly, man. I mean, we got at this point, man. I mean, I'm tired of the Billy Price experiment. I'm tired of
Yes.
the Matt Skura experiment.
Mm-hmm.
The Ben Bredesen's and Nate Soldiers. Most of them players are not going to be on this team next year.
Yeah. That's
You
why I said
know,
we get at least 3 offensive linemen. I'm good. I give us 3 offensive
facts, man.
linemen. I'm fine.
I'll take 4. We got
Yeah,
10
I'll
picks.
take the
I'll
yeah.
take 4.
Honestly, I'll take 4.
I wouldn't, man.
Because
I
I'm
know they'll
hoping
never
and
do
praying,
this.
man. I'm hoping that Gates just comes back. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for that so bad. He was
Yeah,
at least a dog, man. I'm hoping for a dog.
I mean, if you get Gates back, which I mean, we don't know what the possibility of him playing is.
The good thing
He's
he's
walking
walking.
around. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
he's
good
walking
thing.
around. If he could come back and you kick him out to guard, you go get yourself a Linderbaum because you can absolutely get Linderbaum.
Nick
He's
Ross.
not gonna go above our first pick at a worst case
Yeah.
scenario. Um, you go get yourself a Linderbaum, you kick Parrott or Wilson out to right tackle, and then you put one of those at guard. Go get yourself some more tackles and guards in the draft, man. I mean, do something.
Mhm.
Don't repeat what you did this year and not address the offensive line. You're gonna get your quarterback killed. I don't care if you go trade for Russell Wilson. You're gonna get your quarterback killed. I mean, it is ridiculous how bad this offensive line is. And then when you
Yes.
look at Daniel Jones outside of the season, right? I mean, outside of the neck injury, I mean, dude has no time. I'm surprised he hasn't dealt with more injuries from that were caused by this offensive line. And the neck injury, granted, it wasn't caused by the offensive line. So anybody watching saying, "Oh, was it caused by the offensive line?" We know that it wasn't caused by the offensive line. But when you see how defensive players from the opposing team get in the backfield so quick. I mean,
Yes.
I'm surprised dude hasn't been injured. I'm surprised that I would never wish this. I'm gonna knock on my wooden desk right now, but I'm surprised and thankful that no linebacker or defensive tackle has busted in the backfield and like broken this man's collarbone. That's how bad. And there's some hits that this kid takes, and I'm like looking at the game and I'm like, is he gonna get up? I mean, because that was a brutal hit that he just took. Is he gonna get up? And rightfully so, he gets up, he shakes it off, he gathers all the players in the huddle, and they continue on. So, I mean, I'm not saying DJ's the answer. I'm not saying he's the future, but I think if DJ was in another organization right now, he would be playing. He
Yeah.
would be playing because that's the kind of person that he is. But the Giants are doing the right thing. They've been holding him out the last 3 weeks, making sure they get every medical evaluation that they could have possible on this kid's neck. They felt the best thing that they could do was place him on IR. I thought they should have been done that, but better now than never, right?
Yo,
Yeah.
what it do, squad?
Yo, what it do, Jay? What it do?
What's up, Jared?
None. I was
What
at
up,
the
Jaden?
game. It was painful, bro.
I
I
don't
was
know
at
how
the
you
game
did it,
watching this in
man.
person. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Because mad Dallas fans annoying, man.
Look, I was gonna point this out on the stream yesterday. I think it was on Joel's stream. I was about to point this out. I saw on Twitter 3 different videos of 3 separate fights
Yeah.
yesterday at the
I
Giants
posted
game.
Yeah.
one.
Yo,
I
Nate,
Like,
I don't know about the other two. I actually saw one.
I
wow.
saw the
Well, it
one.
wasn't
It
a
was
fight. It was like they was talking back and forth.
Oh, nah, I'm saying like these videos that I saw. I'm talking
Yeah,
like
hey,
fists,
yo,
like
I don't know if
poking
y'all
it
saw
out.
this or not. It was some fan over there throwing up because the fan got drunk.
Oh, I didn't see that. Nah, that's nasty as hell. That is nasty as hell.
Oh Lord.
be safe.
Yeah, I want to play Jake from State Farm more.
We're going to. I'm gonna be real. Don't be shocked if
Yeah, we're gonna
Jake Fromm
have
plays
to.
next week.
Yeah, I don't like Mike Glennon.
Fine. I
While
keep
watching him in person, it's just annoying.
Yeah,
Cause I was
I
I was
mean,
screaming like, get him off the field.
oh, Glennon.
Yes, that first interception, I'm like, well, I already know where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, and that interception. I mean, when you go and look at the play again, I mean, that's all Will
Yeah,
Hernandez.
I'm
It's
mad
all Will
because
Hernandez.
they said they offer a free soda. Man, I'm throwing it on the field.
I
I don't even
don't
want it.
blame you, man. I really don't blame you, man. I mean, you
I
should
feel
have.
Yeah, be honest.
I didn't get the free soda anyway.
You did it?
No.
Why?
Oh my God! It's the hosting, right? Whoever was the host gets the free soda.
Man, it was a
It was
it was actually capped. Nobody in the arena got a free soda. Like nobody.
I think it was the only the season ticket holders that were able to get the
Yeah,
free
I
soda.
think yeah.
Hey, yo, Nate.
Uh,
Yo, during halftime, I tried to go to the restroom. It was like 3,000 people at the spot. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Cause in my head, I'm hoping some fight breaks out so I can put it on YouTube.
hey, Greeny Green. If you're new to the channel, man, hit the sub button. I mean, follow these content creators. Shit, if I knew how to make mods, Jay, I'd say put the links in the description. Actually, while we're here, real quick, let's get that out the way. How do I do that?
And that's a good question.
Let me see.
I think you click on the profile, the three dots, I think.
Okay,
It's
hold
on
on.
YouTube. Go on YouTube and then you just click someone's name and it shows like these three dots. You push the three dots and then
Oh yeah, it only says block or report. Damn. It's all good. No worries. It's all good. We'll get it figured out. Now
Yeah.
in this segment, because we talked about Daniel Jones, we're going to talk about the game yesterday, right? So 21-6, the Giants lose. We fall to 4-10. I'm gonna just break down some of the stats. Mike Glennon was 13 to 24 for a total of 99 yards, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, obviously. Jake Fromm was 6 to 12, 82 yards. That was more impressive. However, at that point, Dallas was playing prevent defense. Devontae Booker had himself a pretty solid game. 8 carries for 74 yards. He actually averaged 9.2 yards on the ground. So, I
Dang.
mean, he's been a bright spot to this offense,
Wait,
man.
I
I
have a.
mean, oh, what
Oh
are you
yeah,
saying?
I'll give my personal breakdown since I was actually there in person. Cause look on the field, right? You know the Giants' offense. That
Mhm.
offense was shut down the whole game. It's
Oh, yeah.
like the receivers wasn't getting no separation, no anything. I'm like,
That's
what
usually
this?
how it is. Let's be
I'm like,
honest.
what the hell? It
That's
was a
usually
few
how
times
it
where the
is.
receivers was open and Mike couldn't even get the ball to them. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like
I
we need
mean,
to throw it up to Galladay the end zone. It was supposed to be a pass interference because Michael Parsons wasn't looking for the football.
on top of that, it should have been a better throw by Mike
Yeah,
Glennon too.
yeah.
Because if you put a little bit more mustard on that throw, man, I mean, you're talking about at worst, it's a pass interference call by Micah, and then you're putting the Giants at the 1, maybe the 3 yard line at worst. What's going on, Deception? What's going on,
Yep,
man?
it was good.
You're up. Let me go back to
Yo,
this Greeny comment real quick. Yes, the Fromm season has begun, man.
yep. We'll see what he.
Um,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
Yeah,
let me just get to this one real quick. Saquon was also he had 15 carries for 50 yards. Receiving wise, Galladay was our leading receiver, 3 yards. Excuse me, 3 receptions, 52 yards. It was nice to see him have
yeah,
a contested catch. That pass actually went for 20 yards, so that was nice to see.
yep.
Evan Ingram was 4 receptions, 33 yards. Barkley, 4 receptions, 24 yards. Slayton, 2 receptions, 23.
Yeah,
Um,
Galladay was our lead receiver, 3 yards.
yes, yeah, it was definitely a slow game, right? Now, if we look at the defensive side of the ball,
I
I
mean,
thought this was
the
Lorenzo
defense
Carter's
did
best game of the year.
they
Um,
did as much as they could.
Yeah, yeah, they did, man. I mean, when you also look at this defense, man, I mean, like I said, Lorenzo Carter, this was his game, man. I mean, this was
Yeah,
absolutely
I'm so
his
mad
game of the
because
year.
Lorenzo Carter finally got a sack in
yo, I'm just
2 years.
mad because he only that was his best game ever.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the game that sticks out to me the most. Another
Yeah,
game outside of that is the Patriots game where he had a strip sack on Tom
yeah,
Brady. But I mean, nah, man. I mean, besides that, uh, yeah, no, I thought that he had a pretty solid game. Aziz Ojolari, he had half a sack. He has now a total of 8 sacks. So for the season so far, he holds the Giants' rookie record for most sacks. So that's awesome. Quincy Roche looked solid as well. He has half a sack in this game. I mean, Quincy Roche has really come into his own. But outside of that, I mean, Graham Gano is the star of this game. He's been the star of this offense.
Yeah, he's been a star for the whole season.
Yeah, nah, definitely. And he's been really just the offense. He's really been our offense, and it sucks, but that's just what it is, unfortunately. And now, one of my things I will say about this game, right? I actually thought defensively, at least, the Giants have themselves a good game. I mean, this was a good game by the defense. I thought that we not only did we hold Dallas to 21 points. I mean, they only scored what, two touchdowns on us, and they had four turnovers on us. So the defense did pretty solid, considering the fact that we didn't have most of our secondary out there. Considering the fact that you're going against the second-ranked offense in the league, this defense, I mean, they've been doing fairly solid. I mean, they held Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott under 100 yards rushing. I mean, Tony Pollard was 12 carries, 74 yards. Zeke Elliott was 16 carries, 52 yards. I mean, Dak
Yeah,
was 28 at 37. He was
and
270
also
yards, one touchdown.
like Cooper, Gallup, and the receivers was barely a factor the whole game.
Yeah, yeah, no, I
Yeah,
mean,
like if we had a Dory Jackson, I think the secondary plays a little bit better with Dory Jackson in there.
yeah, I mean, but he's been dealing, with not only injury, but now
Yeah,
he's on the COVID-19 list. So
it's
it
like
sucks, but
it's like I like the defense because I was on the well, I was gonna say I was on the field even though I don't play for them. I would like to, but for the Giants defense, what I was watching, they was getting some pressure, but they just missing that one edge, that one pass rusher. That's all they missing, and another linebacker. This defense is gonna be set.
yeah, I mean, I agree with you there, man. I mean, look, this was a great performance by Lorenzo Carter. It's a little too late. I don't see him on the roster next year, but I mean, he had seven pressures, again, two sacks. He had three quarterback hits, two tackles for loss. He had a forced fumble and a pass deflection. I mean, this is the player that the Giants have been needing out of Lorenzo Carter. This is what we've expected out of Lorenzo Carter, and he's highly underperformed. Now, granted, he's coming off an Achilles injury. I get it. But at the same time, you had Patrick Graham raving about him. You had Patrick Graham, saying that I haven't seen him play like this in a long time. But I'm done with the kid. I'm done with the kid. He has not been the type of player that we expected him to be. I mean, and then when you look at him, from his career perspective, right? Okay, so in 2018, he had a combined number of 43 tackles, 13 assists, four sacks. That was it. 2019, 45 combined tackles, 20 assisted tackles, 4.5 sacks. Granted, last year he was injured. I'm not going to get on him because he looked really good for what he had. I mean, he had 15 combined tackles, four assists, and a sack before he got injured early on in the season. He looked good. But when you read his stats from this year, most of them come from yesterday's game. He has been a non-factor in this for this organization, for this defense. I mean, we're getting more production out of Quincy Roche and Azeez Ojulari than we were with Lorenzo Carter and O'Shane Ximenez. I mean, and honestly, man, I don't give a damn. And this is a perfect comment right here. I don't care if you have one good game out of 17. Facts. Because you have done nothing in your career with the New York Giants to show that the Giants should keep you long term. And that's what, look, Joe Judge and whoever comes in at this point at general manager, they have to clean a lot of these players out. The Lorenzo Carters, the O'Shane Ximenez. I mean, there's a lot of players from past regimes that our past coaches have drafted that are not only not Joe Judge guys, but they don't fit what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing out of position. They don't fit what we're trying to do. But you look at the players that Joe Judge has brought in, and they're staple pieces that we hope going into the future could be, key pieces to this team. Xavier McKinney, Azeez Ojulari, Quincy Roche, Aaron Robinson. I mean, I, I just feel that you got to give this man a chance. Let him bring in his own people, attack that offensive line, and go get you another stud edge rusher, man. Pair that with Azeez Ojulari and Quincy Roche, and then you got something really going on this defense because that's what we need on this defense, man. What's going on, G Nation? This man said 11-6. I can't stand you, Lou. Get out of here, man.
Hey
Um,
yo, G Wake, G Nation, Lou is actually correct because we're going 11-6 next season.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that I could see, man. I mean, shit. I mean, uh, it's been a very underwhelming season due to a lot of different things. But I think next year could be that get right year. Absolutely. But it's all going to come down to, and I don't care who comes in here. It's all going to come down to how can we execute this draft. We have
Mm-hmm.
two first round picks. We have a total of 10 picks right now. So if I'm the Giants, man, I mean, we always have this conversation. I don't want to sound like a broken record to you guys because we have this conversation every stream. But if I'm the Giants, man, if one of those edge rushers aren't there, you take a solid offensive lineman with your higher first round pick. You trade that second one back. Either get yourself an edge rusher or go get yourself a fairly decent offensive lineman. That's what you got to do. That's what you have to do. Go get you some key cornerstone pieces to this team for this team going forward. I mean, this draft is an excellent draft to address the positions of need, such as offensive lineman, such as linebacker, such as corner, such as edge rusher. There's a lot. It's a deep draft, and we have to execute this draft. I mean, I love free agency. It's always nice to get some nice players. I mean, we got James Bradbury. I mean, we got just this season alone, we got Galladay, we got Adoree Jackson. I mean, free agency is fun, but you got to build through the draft. You got to build a solid foundation. And I see we had this conversation yesterday on Joel's stream where I see what they're trying to do. I see what Joe Judge is trying to build. And granted, the wins aren't there. So I understand that there's a high level of frustration there. There's things that Judge has to work on. But I do think that if you can execute in this draft, you could get some players back that haven't been in the lineup due to injury. Kadarius Toney of the world. I mean, Dory Jackson. Just to put that out there. I mean, why can't this team go out there and be a competitive team next year? Hell,
Um,
we're 4-10 and we're competing this year in terms of at least staying in these games for the most part. That's not due to the offense, but if we're talking about defensively, yeah. But
yo, his squad.
what's up, man?
Here's one thing against Dallas when Lorenzo Carter got the fumble sack, we could have scored a touchdown and went for 2 points to make it a 7 point game. It's just imagine it because the defense would have had a momentum. It's like we just be we be like a few plays away from winning or try to come back and win. We're just a few plays away.
Yeah, yeah,
I got something to say. And I have to admit this right now. I was wrong about Leonard Williams' heart. I gotta admit this right now. Leonard Williams has the most heart on this defense. I gotta say it. He he proved that he actually wants to play, and he played with with it. I think it was his arm.
yeah.
Yeah,
He had an elbow injury. Yeah,
Yeah,
but Little Williams actually played. He was actually doing
yeah, he
all.
was getting pressure.
Yeah, he was. But we just need that pass rush that's going to just. I don't know how to say it or describe it.
We need a pass rusher next to Aziz. We need another pass rusher,
Yeah, we
yeah,
it's that one pass rusher just from getting home.
and then a nose tackle, and the defensive line is built. We need a
yeah.
nose tackle.
Yeah,
But
a
it's
draft a
like
linebacker with it.
a lot of the issues that the Giants have outside of the obvious are definitely self-inflicting. I mean, there's some instances there's bad coaching. There's some instances where we lack discipline. Just
Mm-hmm.
look at the Washington game.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline. I mean, it's definitely a lot of different things, but it's things that if you have a competent or at least a pretty solid foundation. You got the right pieces in play in terms of people in the organization and pieces on the field. You can grow from this. You can become a better team from this. Will the Giants do that? I would like to hope. I would like to hope that whoever comes in can finally get this right. because we're going on a better half of a decade uh, where we're just not good, and it sucks. It sucks. It angers us as fans because for once we had expectations with this team, and man, have we underperformed. We have underperformed to, if not the highest degree. I mean, this should have been a playoff team. We shouldn't have to have, been like, okay, we got to win this game and hope that these teams lose for us to have a wild card spot. I mean, when you just look at this team on paper, and granted, it's on paper. I mean, they have some pieces that they can work with, and I just think that it comes down to, again, attacking this offensive line, getting you an edge rusher, and really making sure that you have the right coaches in place, because that's what's really hurting this team. And I think that whatever general manager comes in, Judge is going to have to say goodbye to some of his friends on this roster, in terms of coaching staff. I mean, he's going to have to. And I wouldn't be shocked if by year's end that we see a lot of these people on the staff go. I mean, for some reason we have the most coaches on the coaching staff, in the entire league. I mean, is that really necessary? I mean, are they all on the same page? If you were to ask them the same question individually, right? If you were to go in a room and ask them the same question, would they give you the same answer? Or would they give you individually different answers? So, I mean, I'm just looking at that. Are they teaching the same thing? Do they have the same beliefs in terms of what they're teaching individually? I mean, sometimes too much of one thing is bad. That's just my honest opinion. But I mean, I don't know. What's going on, Mark the Blue Giant? Appreciate you coming in. Deception, you're right. That is why it's a game of inches, and we should absolutely attack this offensive line, and we should attack this edge rusher group because it is a deep edge class as well. You're absolutely right, man. Nate, I want to get your thoughts real quick, and then I'll move it to Jay. Um, I mean, how do the Giants go forward, man? I mean, what do they? Obviously the season is lost. Obviously, there's only so much the Giants can do to make things right, let alone the slap in the face they gave fans yesterday by offering a free medium soda. So, in your mind, as a fan, you put your general manager hat on.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make this season right going forward? I mean, the only good news you got to work with is that your quarterback for next year doesn't have a long-term injury and
Mm-hmm.
he's expected to fully recover.
All right, so this is what I would do. I would just let the season play on, figure the pieces. I would put the younger guys on the field more than the experienced guys to give them some playing time. I would like to see Terry Bravo get on the field for at least a couple snaps. I would I would actually like to see the defensive one. I would actually want to put Aziz and Rashad at the same time. Move move Carter. Actually, I want Carter to play linebacker. I think he's played much better at linebacker than on the edge. So I would put Lorenzo Carter at linebacker and see what we have in the secondary, because the secondary we have pieces that we know that we have, like McKinney. I'll say right now, if we can just cut some of these guys that we already know who can get cut, I'll say Logan Ryan should get cut right now. He's not played the same Logan Ryan that I saw last year. So if I'm the Giants, you cut all the older guys, bring some younger guys, and just see what next year holds. We need to bring some experience. We need to bring some experience with some younger guys, because right now our defense, we need help in that secondary right now.
Oh yeah, facts. I absolutely agree with you, man. I mean, there's going to be definitely some cuts. When you look at this roster going into next season, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a bloodbath. I mean, there's definitely going to be some big names that are going to get cut. You look at the Bradburys. You look at potentially. Although I wouldn't want to see him go, I would extend him to lower the cap hit. The Martinez could possibly be in that conversation. I
I
think
think he'll.
Rudolph gets
I think
cut.
he'll. I think he'll take the discount. I think he'll restructure.
Yep, I'm there with you, man. I think that would be the smartest thing the Giants could do because that's
I
a
think
piece
cut
that you
Brad.
can work with.
We should we. I think we should cut Bradbury at this point.
I do agree with that. I think that we should, and I think that we will, just due to the fact that he's due to make $21 million next year.
Yeah.
Um, Jay, how are you thinking, man? I mean, how same question to you, general manager hat on. Obviously, season's lost, but how do you make this right going into next season? Like, what are your thoughts?
Number one, sign me. Number two, give me at free agency. Number three, draft me. Number four, do not cut my contract.
Okay,
All right.
that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good way to look at it.
You should have said, "Don't cut me and hit squad." And you.
Yeah, I should have said that.
Yeah, you should have
God
done.
damn it, Nate. You stole my. Like, did you read my thoughts or something?
I'm trying. Yeah,
All
I'm
right, I don't
trying.
trust you now. But anyway, let me see. Yeah, get rid of all the older guys. I don't know about the Logan Ryan part because he's one of our best leaders on defense comes to leadership. Because I can see Peppers being gone. I can see Rudolph, Evan Ingram being gone. Darius Slayton being out. Shepard career is over. You trade him after June 1st for the $8 million. No, or you could cut him.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you get rid of 4 offensive line. Get rid of Solder, Skura, Billy Price, and get rid of Will Hernandez.
Thank you, please.
I would
yeah.
like to keep Matt Pert. I have a question. Should we keep Shane or just drop him?
O'Shea, nah, I think they're gonna keep him due to the fact that he had an injury. But I don't
Yeah,
think that he's a starter next year. I think that he
yeah. For
could
the
be a nice
defense,
rotational piece.
I would like to get rid of Lorenzo Carter or Shane Simmons. Danny Shelton. I don't like. I just hate him as a person
Yeah.
because he doesn't do anything. He hasn't done anything all season.
Please,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, he's been a
It's
non-factor
like
to this team.
He's
it's
already
like
gone. He's gonna
it's
be
like
gone.
he
He's only on
can't.
a 1 year
He's like
deal.
it's like you got all that muscle but can't get off a single block. It's like you getting blocked by a skinny wide receiver. How that doesn't even happen?
He's only on one. Jaden, he's only on a
Like
1 year deal. He's gone at the end of the season, anyways.
I'm glad he is. I have a question.
What's
Do
up?
we get rid of Jalen Smith or we bring him back
Bring him back.
next year?
I'll bring him back.
Well, what I would do personally is see. Oh, let me keep this up because
Yeah, look.
I think that will be the case going into next year.
Yeah, I
Let me keep
personally
this up
like
right
to
now.
keep him.
I
Look, we can
would.
have him, Tate Crowder, and Blake Martinez. Oh,
I
I don't know.
mean,
Blake Martinez is gonna be healthy though. That's gonna be my concern.
if what I would do personally is I would let him play these next coming games.
Okay.
Well, let's just say the rest of the season, right?
Yeah.
I liked what I saw so far. I don't want to jump on the Jalen Smith train too early. I just want to see what we have. I thought that he played with some good energy. He brought some speed. That was actually my concern in the pregame show that
Yeah,
I did yesterday. My concern was, Green Bay and Dallas fans were both saying that, his issue wasn't with tackling. His issue was, his speed due to his injury and, his lack of coverage skills. And
I mean,
I thought he played solid yesterday. He brought
yeah,
speed
like his
and
squad.
intensity.
Here's the thing: they could say all that, but he's not on the right system either. It could be that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things that it could be. I mean, so what I would do, is let him play the rest of the games. Let's see how he is, right? Because I mean, he didn't even have practice with the Giants. It literally came out that his only practice was a walkthrough, which was
Yeah.
right before the game. Because we signed him Friday and he played Sunday. So let him get adjusted to the system. Let him learn these plays. Let's see what we have in him, and then if he's good, sign him.
Yeah.
You could sign
Yeah,
him
yeah.
for the low. He's not. He will never get another contract like than what he got with Dallas. Dallas paid him $7.5 million just to get off the team. I mean, he will never get that contract again. You could probably get him on a minimum, and it's a low risk, high reward for a player that's still young. Yes, he's dealt with injury, but let's be honest, guys, and I don't think you guys will disagree here. What other
Yeah,
coach
his squad.
it
Oh yeah,
would
for the rest of the season or if going to next year, I would like to start Aziz Jalari and Quincy Roche. I want them to get like 90% of the snaps.
I
Cause,
mean,
cause you seen it when Judge finally decided to play them, they was able to do something.
well, the thing is that these players are young, and I understand why Judge wants these players. He's taking these times with these players because going from college going into the NFL completely different. But if you're asking me, I think what happens next year is if they get an edge rusher early, I'm talking one of those first round picks early. Um, I definitely see Roche getting less playing time, not in the sense of he would be benched or nothing like that. But I think that at that point, your two starters are then that whoever that edge rusher is, and then Aziz Ojolari, and then maybe Ojolari gets off the field, and then you bring in Roche. That's you want to build a solid rotation. That's what the Giants have been known for. I mean, when we won those Super Bowls back in 2007, 2011, we had a heavy rotation. We had players that can, if a player needed to step out, you brought another player in. I mean, he's giving you good production. I mean, and that's what we haven't had since then. So if I'm the Giants, man, I mean, again, see what you have in Smith. Let him play these last couple games. Bring him back on a minimum if you feel that he could be in the system. What I was going to say is that what other defensive coordinator in this league gets the most out of their young players? I mean, that we know of right now. I mean, I'm sure other teams do, but I really love Patrick Graham because I love that he's able to get the most out of these players. I'm sorry. I just feel that if Tate Crowder was on another team, mostly he wouldn't be a starter, but I don't think that he would show these, spurts of, of a bright spot on another team. I think that currently, we're getting the most out of these young players. So to me, man, I mean, let Patrick Graham get his hands on Jalen Smith. He'll know what to do and what not to do with Jalen Smith. And you may see a better production from the kid. Right now, we lack linebacker depth. Right now, that's one of our biggest issues on the defensive side of the ball outside of edge rushers. I mean, I like Tate Crowder. I think that he's a solid number two. I don't think that he will be a captain of this team, like Blake Martinez is. I think that Blake Martinez's presence is heavily missed. I think that, again, putting Tate Crowder at number two, potentially Jalen Smith at number three, or whoever you draft. I mean, or if you draft a linebacker early and you do intend to release Martinez, I mean, then you go about it that way. But in my honest opinion, see what you have in Smith. See what you have in Smith. If he does good, extend him next year. But if not, man, I mean, go get yourself a linebacker in this year's class. You got a deep linebacking class. See what you got. I mean, let these players play. I mean, Patrick Graham is a good coach. And that's one thing that honestly scares me as a Giants fan, that if Joe Judge gets fired, guess who's going with him? Patrick Graham. That's just what it is. So yeah, I don't know if that answers. Oh, Jay left. I don't know if that answers your question, Jay, but I hope it does, man. Oh snap! I am missing a lot of comments. All right. So Mark the Blue Giant says definitely deception, attack O-line and edge. I'm tired of losing. We're all tired, man. We're all tired. Believe me. Uh, we definitely can't have nothing, man. I agree with you, D Mac. Taj says, and the play action will be very effective. Yeah. So this was actually what I wanted to talk to you about, Nate. So the Giants, I really do think that we're going to be a heavy run team next year. I think that Booker is a solid complementary piece to Saquon Barkley. I mean, we saw on a 4th-and-1 yesterday, Booker had a nice run. I think it was for like 20 yards, 18 or 20 yards. I mean, he's definitely a hard-hitting running back. I mean, I love the tenacity that he plays with. I love the chip that he plays with. I mean, he's a good player. And I was honestly wrong about Devontae Booker. I was not in favor of the signing. I thought that we should have went about it differently, but ultimately he's looking good. And I think that what the Patriots, I think what Joe Judge wants to do is have that Patriot style of offense where we have a heavy run game, a great defense, and we get average, if not above average, quarterback play from the quarterback. So I do agree with you there. But do you see this happening, Nate, or do you see us airing the ball out more next year? Because we're going to need some wide receivers too. So I just wanted to know what you think.
I think Booker's a good complementary to Saquon because I just think he's a power running back, which is what I think we need behind Saquon. That's what I wanted with next to Saquon because Saquon's an elusive back. Right now, he's getting into the groove of being an elusive back again, but he's getting to the role where we seen him make that one-handed catch where it was like, whoa, on Pat's stream. So we see what he has. Just now, he has to get back into the role of him getting back into football. That ACL, it hurts people, man. It doesn't make everyone just become a beast again. It takes a while to take back. So
Yeah.
Wait for Saquon. He has a couple of games left to just feel him out again. He gets a whole off season, so he gets the rest, and then he comes back to next season feeling healthy again. This is probably, and I think next will be the most healthy Saquon season we'll probably ever see.
Yeah, I hope. Hey, what's going on, Adam? What's going on, man? Nice to see you. Let's answer this question real quick, Nate. Deception asks, do you guys want to see Isaiah Wilson at some point this year? And do you think we'll bring back Hernandez? Um,
Um,
I'll let you go first, Nate. Give your
I would
thoughts.
say no to the Isaiah Wilson thing because he's getting back into football, and bringing back Will Hernandez, I'll say no to because Hernandez is terrible. I don't want Hernandez back on this team.
Yeah, I'm there with you, man. I personally, I do think that we will see Isaiah Wilson,
Yeah,
maybe for a drive or two. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if it's the last game of the season. We see a drive or two just to get him, some sort of contact. And then I think next year we'll see Isaiah Wilson heavy. I really do think that Isaiah Wilson was picked up to be a developmental player. Um, just due to the fact that he's a former first round pick. Like he was drafted in the same draft as Andrew Thomas. So it's not
yeah,
like he's a bust. The talent is there. The issue was that he had some character issues and he wasn't in football shape. But I do think that he could be a solid piece to this offensive line. I
mhm.
mean, I don't think that Rob Sale is a bad coach because there's
I
moments
love.
where this.
I'm on the
I'm
Rob
sorry.
Sale train. I like Sale. I like him a
Yeah,
lot.
I like Rob Sale too. I think that there's moments where the offensive line holds up and Daniel Jones holds onto the ball too long, or these receivers don't create separation.
Yeah.
But I think that Isaiah Wilson could be a pretty decent player for us,
Yeah.
hopefully, either at guard or at right tackle.
Yes.
But I really do think that if you put him at guard, I mean, that could be a solid player for us, man.
Yeah. And I'll say
Um,
that on that too. I think if Rob Sale, I'm on the Rob Sale train, and I think if he could, and the talent, if you have to look at the talent he has, Billy Price, Matt Skura, Matt Hurt, Nate Solder, and Will Hernandez. None of those guys are not even close to good.
No, yeah, I agree with you. Actually, I didn't even answer that second part. No, I will not bring back Will Hernandez.
There you go.
Let me actually say this much. Um, I think that Will Hernandez doesn't get another. Excuse me. I don't think that Will Hernandez gets another contract with the Giants, but I don't think that Will Hernandez gets enough crap compared to Nate Solder. Nate Solder is bad. Nate Solder is not going to be on this roster next year. Hopefully, he is beyond trash. But when you look at Will Hernandez, this is Will Hernandez's worst year
Yes.
as an offensive lineman for the New York Giants. I mean, every stat backs that up. That this is his worst year as a New York Giants. I mean, he has regressed. Now, I was actually excited when the New York Giants selected him.
Yes.
I'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
real with you. You could go check my old videos. I was excited when the New York Giants selected him. I thought that we were getting ourselves a quote unquote hog molly, as Dave
Mhm.
Gettleman loves to say, which, by the way, once Dave Gettleman is fired, you will never hear me say the word hog molly again. He's made me hate that word. But Will
Mhm.
Hernandez has regressed so much. I thought that he would have been an excellent piece to this offensive line.
Yes.
And now, in my mind, I'm kind of putting him with the Eric Flowers of the world. The in terms of players that we've drafted that have been busted on the offensive line. I'm putting him in that category. So I'm not
Yeah.
bringing back Hernandez. We need to fully revamp this offensive line. Take the Dallas approach. You can't have too many offensive linemen. I'm one of those
Mhm.
people to where I'm drafting an offensive lineman in every draft. And I don't care if that's the strong suit to my offense. You can't guarantee no injuries. Now in
Mhm.
this day and age, you can't guarantee a player won't catch COVID.
Yeah.
So you need to address that position as much as you can.
Yes.
And
That's
for
how I
some
said.
reason, we don't.
We get at least three. That's what I'm saying. At least three. I'll be happy with more, but at least three. And I think we should bring in a center slash guard in free agency. Bring someone like a Ryan Jansen. Bring someone like Andrew Noel. Bring someone like that who can help the middle and develop these young guys because you can definitely get a good veteran in free agency this year for a really good price. So
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of different ways. I know a lot of Giants fans are freaking out because of the cap space. We don't
Yes.
know exactly, obviously, what the Giants are going to do, but we do know this. The cap is a myth. The cap is a myth.
Yeah.
Go look at the New Orleans Saints. They are always negative every year and are still able to sign players,
Mhm.
and it's insane. But the Giants have a lot of different ways that they could go out there and get and create cap space. They're gonna have to regardless because they're gonna have two high first round picks. So they're gonna have to address the cap situation. I mean, you could create a boatload of money just by cutting Bradbury, Rudolph, um, yeah, Bradbury, Rudolph. If you were to cut Blake Martinez, which I'm not in favor for, that's a lot of money there that you can make. I mean, there's ways that they can create cap space. They can create cap space by cutting Nate Solder.
Mhm.
So and Sterling Shepard, although there's more dead money in cutting Sterling Shepard, they're going to do that anyways. There's ways that this team can create cap. So I am in favor of heavily addressing the offensive line in the draft, and then maybe go get yourself an Andrew Noel in free agency because he's really not going to cost you that much.
I'll
He'll
say
be
like
on
at least 6 million at the most.
Exactly, because Jacksonville signed him to a huge contract. I know that that was a player that I actually wanted when we were looking at left tackles.
Mhm.
During free agency at that point. Obviously, we went and got Nate Solder. Andrew Norwell went to Jacksonville. But coincidentally enough, neither of those players have lived up to the contracts that they've been given by their respected organizations.
Mhm.
So, if you're asking me, I think Norwell you could go get on the cheap, like you said, Nate, around 6 million at most, and that's going to be a lot better than what we had in Nate Solder. That's going to be a lot better than potentially what we have in Matt Parrott. Now, Matt Parrott, I think, obviously we have been hearing that he's not the toughest of players, and that's been bothering the coaches, which I understand. I think that Matt Parrott is a player that has potential. He has some length to him. He's a big body player, but ultimately it's going to come down to his physicality and the amount of reps he gets. I know that there was Giants fans yesterday that were upset as hell that Matt Parrott had two false starts penalties. But what did
Yeah,
you
I
think that
was.
was going to happen? I mean, what did you think was going to happen for a player that gets no reps and no playing time? He's
Yeah.
going to be a little rusty. He's going to have issues like that. And they were. I definitely did see some people on Twitter that were saying, "Oh, well, maybe we should put Nate Solder in." No, no, no. We're
Oh
not going to go
God.
back to that. We are not going to go back to that. Let your young cats play. See what you have in them, and build around these players. And you know what? At a worst case scenario, look, Matt Peart was selected 99th overall. I don't think that the Giants were going into this selecting him expecting it to be a perennial player. At worst, he is a nice swing tackle that you could potentially develop. And I highly do think that the Giants will select a high level tackle in this upcoming draft. If Neal is there at fit at 5 or at 4, best believe the Giants are going to pick him up. Best believe the Giants will pick him up. And at that point, you got something working. But nah, man. And I agree with you, D Mac Warrior. That's why I kept this up. I think that if there are two coaches the Giants do keep going into next season, it's going to be Rob Sale and Patrick Graham. I think that they would be foolish to let Patrick Graham go. I do think that they would be foolish to let Rob Sale go. The only way I'm letting Rob Sale go is that obviously if they find a better offensive line coach. But I do think that there have been moments where the offensive line looked pretty good in moments when you look at the level of talent that they have on this offensive line, especially when Andrew Thomas wasn't in the lineup due to injury. So that's how I feel. Deception, I think that that would be a great pick. I really do want Linderbaum. If you could get Neal and Linderbaum, then man, you are talking about a huge difference in production that this offensive line will have next year. Granted, they're going to be rookies, but I will tell you this much: they will play a lot better than what we have right now. They will play a lot better than what we have right now, and those are cornerstone pieces that could be part of your offensive line. Now, there's been Giants fans that have said, "Oh, we wouldn't select Linderbaum with the fourth overall pick or the fifth overall pick. Why would we do that?" Man, if the Colts can do that, if the Giants could select a running back at 2, there should be no issues why they can't draft an offensive lineman to protect their franchise quarterback potentially and their running back that they selected overall, second overall. Go get yourself an offensive lineman, man. Stop playing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to be cute with it. Stop trying to, go about it analytically. Go get yourself an offensive lineman, and you should be straight. There's no issues with that. I don't think that unless Hutchinson or Thibodeau are there, I highly doubt Giants fans will freak out if the Giants were to select two offensive linemen or an offensive lineman high with.
I'm good.
Exactly, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I think
It's
regardless,
like my boy. It's like if we draft my guy Charles Cross, which I'm gonna I'm gonna be going like I'm gonna make a film breakdown tomorrow about that guy. So it's Charles Cross, in my opinion, is gonna bring you good tackle play, and he can play a little bit more on inside too. So
yeah, that's true.
and he's a
That's
beast,
true.
man. I want Charles Cross so bad.
I have to do more research on him personally.
He's underrated. Like there's people are sleeping on that guy, bro. When he goes to the combine, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, you guys will hear this guy's name. I'm telling you.
No, man. I mean, we need as much offensive lineman as we can get, man. Deception says if we could draft Neil at 5 and trade down with the 6 to get an extra second and Linderbaum with that trade down, I'd be in heaven. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Me too. I think that's the smartest thing the Giants could do. Get yourself your perennial player at 5 or at 4. You can still get a perennial player if you go down to 11 or 12. And
Yeah.
on top of that, I think you could get more than a second round pick. You
Mhm.
may be able to get a first
Mhm.
depending on where you trade back from. And if you do get a first, you have 2 firsts going into next season, and you set yourself up perfectly. So I highly agree with you there. But Nate, my friends, we are actually going to end the stream here. We've been going at it for an hour. I actually have to head out at 6. So I'm going to start getting ready now. But I wanted to say, you guys, thank you so much for coming to the stream. Nate, I know you just left, but thank you for hopping on the stream. Jade Productions, Super Taj. I appreciate everyone that came onto the panel and expressed how they felt. Thank you to everybody that was in the chat showing love. It really means a lot. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Leave a like below. You can follow us on Twitter. The link will be in the description. The Twitter name is in the video, literally big in front of you. So go follow us on Twitter. Again, I appreciate you guys. Go Giants.